Hey everyone out there, we are Music Villa in lovely Bozeman, Montana's Gear and Beer Show.
This is Blaze.
Hi.
I'm Joe.
That's Joe, damn it. And so anyway, we're here to drink, imbibe, and talk about gear and have fun with it. Maybe have a guest.
Maybe I don't know.
We didn't book anybody. We don't have beverages. We're very unprepared. It was raining down.
It's a rainy day out. Yep.
It's springtime here in Bozeman.
I was at the pawn shop on the way to work trying to barter with the guy to get my rain jacket back. I pawned my rain jacket for $3.
Joe's been going through his third divorce.
Yep.
It's a real tough time for him.
He wouldn't give me my rain jacket back for $3 for the. Well, he wanted to charge me 10, like as they do.
They got to make a living.
Typical pawn shop, you find neat things. So I found this device sitting there.
That looks alien.
It looks super alien, and
Freddy
I
Krueger
thought it was some kind
box.
of probe, but apparently it's not. I was kind of bummed.
Oh, bum! I'm usually up for a good probing.
Turns out it's a beverage beacon. He called it a beverage beacon.
Beverage? Oh,
after I bought it,
Well, I didn't bring beverages. You didn't bring beverages. We have the beacon.
Well, yeah, and I was like, I got gear and beer that I get lots of beverages. Can I pawn this back to you? He was gonna, same thing. He was gonna be $1 for it, so I kept it.
Yeah.
So let's see what it does. Let's put this in use.
I love the look of it.
I'm gonna click it on. It's got two little antennae. There's a green one and a blue one. He said they each do different things.
Ooh, that is alien, like very Twilight Zone.
Let's see what this one does.
Whoa!
Hey,
that worked.
Wow.
Doesn't look like beer though. I was hoping you were gonna press the beer button, but it looks like we got coffee, which I'm not complaining. This is lovely.
Let's put that coffee down. Let's see what the other one does.
Okay.
A little space there. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
The blue beacon.
Is that one weird science? Does it bring? Can we get Kelly LeBrock from the '80s in here?
Whoa! What the hell?
Oh my god!
This thing's amazing.
Like, good thing it didn't Thank God it's only just a beverage collar. Whoa! That could go very wrong. Dude, I love this thing, man.
Let's see what happens if I do both. Let's do both.
I love to see.
I feel like we can get a little more.
I think we could get a weird science. So let's put bras on our heads.
This is way more fun than my raincoat.
Try to get a woman in here.
Whoa!
Dude!
Alex!
What is that? Are those donuts?
What's in there?
I don't know. How did I even get here? Yeah. Look.
Oh man,
Oh,
sweet.
This morning is shaping
the best.
up.
Yeah, I think that was a good investment. Getting one of those.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That was like a
Riz,
Come on, get out of there.
No donuts for you.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, thanks, man. I don't know who you are, but take care.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
I gotta go.
Actually, we're doing this guitar show.
Guitars.
Do you play any kind of instruments or anything? We need a guest. Really is what's going on here.
Sometimes I play guitar, yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, get on here.
Here, why don't you come on in and be
Yeah,
our
you're
guest
already
today?
here, why don't you?
I can do that. Let's have a chair.
Here, you get in that chair. I'll get the middle one.
Okay.
Sorry, Riz.
And boy, we have
on the big screen.
we got a party going on here. I guess I'm probably gonna have this
Or the
one.
small screen, either
I'm
way.
venturing. Yeah. All right,
I'll take any screen.
Riz.
Riz,
Excuse
come
me,
here,
Riz.
babe. Come here.
Hi, everybody.
Donuts.
So again, if you're just tuning in, we're the Gear and Beer Show.
I'm gonna get up in there.
And we just use the unique device.
Chocolate donut, Blaze?
I love a chocolate. Would be awesome.
Sorry.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Oh, this
Welcome
donut's
to the
good.
show.
Thanks for the donut, Alex.
Yeah, this is a.
Thanks,
So
universe.
this is Alex Robilotta, everybody.
Oh yeah, introductions. That would be good. That'd be very professional.
Well, we've actually never met. I just appeared here.
Yeah.
Magical powers.
Yeah.
But I met Alex in the nether regions.
He was in another region last night.
In the universe.
Gotta be in the universe.
Thanks for bringing all of these gifts. And getting
I saw you in
all
my
over the place.
dreams last night. You creeped out yet?
So we are. Let's talk. So this is first of all.
Okay.
Who is Alex? Who is the man?
So everybody, one more
that
time.
is
Alex Robilotta.
That's me.
Local local guitar phenom. All around musician. All around good guy.
He likes the jazz.
But he plays
that the
actively
thing?
in a jazz group, couple different ones. Yep.
Yeah, I do jazz. I
Fancy
do
stuff.
I
What
do
is
all
jazz?
kinds of stuff.
He plays all kinds of stuff.
Jazz.
But
What is jazz in one word?
Jazz is what jazz musicians play.
Okay.
Oh, good.
That's very... I'm writing that down. That's good. That's the name of my new jazz book.
I
Yes.
forget. That's a quote from
What
someone
is
famous.
jazz?
But it's true because
It makes sense.
when all the weird stuff was happening in like the 70s, people were like, "This isn't jazz," but all the people playing it were jazz musicians.
Yeah.
So
I like
What
that. That's a
weird
good point.
stuff? Like
Like Miles
Bitches
Davis. Yeah.
Bitches Brew? Okay.
all like etc.
Getting all
of
that open, airy, freaky stuff.
Once they started playing electric instruments,
Once the drugs
jerks.
took hold.
Jerks. Why do jazz players don't get
They
to
stopped
have?
doing heroin and started getting funky.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
Yeah. Not cool.
Like Mavish New Orchestra. It's not really jazz, but they're jazz musicians. So sure. That's a great debate. It's a great debate.
And I like Grant Green, so like you get the soul jazz. People didn't like that either. They poo-pooed on him
Because it was too
because he was all funky and groovy.
groove-based.
Joe Boogaloo Jones.
Oh, he's
It's
great.
a party.
He's
It's a
great.
party when you put that
I like
on.
those guys too.
But anyway, so you do that kind of stuff.
I do all kinds of
You
things.
do heroin.
Yeah.
You
I mean, that's the
play
only way
big,
to swing,
big hollow
really.
guitars.
I
That's how you
don't
play
play
jazz.
You have
big
a-
hollow guitars.
you
I
have a
one
corduroy
hollow
blazer.
guitar. I actually am getting my one giant
Yeah, you have that old
shop
Gibson.
guitar fixed in the near future.
You remember what model that is?
Refurbished. It's a ES-125D. That was
That's right, yeah.
my wife, Mary Ann, who owns a pottery company in town called Basic Clay.
Ooh. I
So,
love that. I love that.
it was
movie
her
Ghost.
grandpa's guitar.
That movie Ghost.
And
is
it's
great.
a two pickup one.
That's me. And
Is that, you guys reenact that? Like,
Every-
oh.
every day in the basement, we just go down and do pottery. And
You ever seen that Community?
They
That show
start
Community.
playing the
Alison
guitar.
Bray is doing this thing, and it's awesome.
in
Because
community
she's awesome.
now.
Yeah. Well, you have to see it. Viewers, take a look at that Community. That show.
There's too many shows to watch.
I know this one's a funny one.
This one's better than Community.
That's right. Let's talk about guitars. Sorry.
Let's
Sorry,
let's
my
see what's
wife.
under here.
Make sure all the chocolate gets on
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, now, oh, look at that. There's a lot of fun stuff here.
Oh, all kinds of things.
Before we get into this, though, I want to talk about now where you moved here a few years. I don't know how many years, a bunch of years now, I guess. But and you're from Jersey. You from Jersey?
I was born in Brooklyn and grew up mostly in New Jersey, right by Newark Airport in Maplewood, New
So
Jersey.
not near the Jersey Shore. You weren't like going to the Muscle Beaches and getting baby oil all over and playing jazz
Well,
standards
New
on the
Jersey's
beach.
not like Montana. Like, everything is kind of pretty close to the Jersey Shore.
Right, that's true.
Because you
It's
could fit
small.
about, like, 30 New Jerseys in Montana.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
true.
like you were Muscle Beaching,
But we have 10 times
doing
the
like
population.
Satin Doll.
Yeah. That's the Garden
Right.
State.
It is, damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I've been there.
Tomatoes, corn, delicious things.
Yeah. No, a lot of people don't. I had a good friend live in Sparta, New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
I have
beautiful
friends
out
from
there.
there.
Yeah. We used to skateboard there, go to Morristown,
By the Appalachian
go
Trail.
to Vernon, Action Park in Vernon, Dag Nabbit. No, it's beautiful. It's actually really nice. A lot of people don't know. Anyway, a lot of people don't know. They think Jersey.
You think the Jersey
Frickin-
Turnpike?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Turnpike. Yeah, they think of that Jersey show that was on MTV.
Most of the Jersey
Everyone's
Shore
all
is nice.
partying and has Axe cologne and
Yeah, most of those people are from Staten Island and Long Island.
they're
I think
coming
one
in.
of them's from New Jersey.
They're coming in your territory, taking over,
Yeah.
turning into a
A funny thing
Bullshit
about the
fest.
Jersey Shore is that in way in the South Jersey Shore, they call all the tourists Bennies.
Huh?
Which the legend goes it stands for Bayonne, Elizabeth, Newark, and New York.
Oh.
Which are all the North Jersey towns.
Wow, I never heard that.
I
Wow.
never heard that.
They make bumper stickers.
This is
that
gonna
say
come in
Bennies
handy in
go
Montana.
home.
Really?
Yeah.
What about Atlantic City? You ever go to Atlantic City as a kid?
One time I won like $1,800 in an hour playing blackjack there.
Sweet.
Nice.
I wasn't a kid though.
Okay.
I
It'd
was
been a
an
lot
adult.
cooler if we were a kid that did that. You'd be like the Doogie Howser of gambling in Atlantic City. That'd be awesome.
I liked Boardwalk
Yeah.
Empire. I learned a lot about Atlantic City from HBO.
Yeah. Boardwalk Empire.
That's a good one.
That's how I knew it. Anyway, well, and you came out here. You did a lot of music over there, right? I mean,
Yeah, I went to school in Philadelphia and moved back to Jersey City for a while after that and just played a lot of jazz and rock and funk. I was in a rock band called Aminal, which featured this pedal a lot.
Oh wow, you got
And
that
what's
way
that?
back then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What is that guy?
That is the Dan Armstrong effects machine, which features the orange compressor, blue distortion or overdrive, and green ring modulator, all within one. And I'm sure they exist around, but I've never seen another one that had
That's
all
sweet.
three. They make them independently.
Huh.
But this is the only one I've seen that has the full
That's right.
package.
Yeah.
So is that the oldest pedal that you still use? on your board? I mean, like
Let me see.
in your.
Well, I
lineage of
rarely
pedals.
use this one because right now this switch is messed up.
Oh, the
But
compressor.
I do use it sometimes if I'm doing. I don't have much need for it because it's good for recording now.
And you
because-
built this rat pedal.
Yeah, that one's a rat that I built from a kit called Build Your Own Clone.
Oh yeah, I know that company.
And this is a rat
Cool.
pedal that cycles through with the different diodes for all the different rats
Oh, sweet.
throughout the years.
I love a rat pedal.
The first one is like, the
Schofield
vintage,
famously
yeah, and
used
the
one.
vintage 70s one, they cost like $500 or more.
Are they a lot?
I think.
I wonder what mine. I have one from 1980. I wonder if it might be worth some money.
That's over here.
Okay. Schofield used the 70s one,
cool.
probably.
I think most of the jazz people use like the classic one.
The square- big
classic
square
one is
one.
really thin. It's good for jazz because it doesn't like
You still have the
it
fundamental
doesn't like
note.
overload everything. Yeah, and
Right.
it's you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Is this a?
Should we- Is the volume just turned down on the far left there?
Yeah.
There we go.
So, do I have a pick? I think I do. Wait,
Do you like a
should-
heavy
You should
pick?
make one appear.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know what pick you use. It's a little jazz teardrop.
so this is the first one.
Is that a good volume?
That's a good sound.
That is cool.
So that's the first one, and you can.
That's a really good sound.
That really sounds cool.
And then you hear this one has
Whoa, a little more.
volume and more bass. I found.
More bass.
The next
I'll
one.
scroll through. Oh, I like that one. That sounds like the 80s one I have.
Yeah.
I need to get something like that. I don't have that sound. That's really cool.
Oh, that was all. Okay. Is that all? Oh, one more. Two more.
Two more. Yeah, so those are the later ones. These, I think.
Does this have the tone cut like a rat pedal had? Like where it cuts
That's your filter. I'm not sure. They just
Yeah, the
label
filter.
them filter, distortion, and volume.
Because on a rat pedal, it's almost
This
like a
thing can
Vox
crank
amp.
it.
It like cuts tone as you turn it up. Instead of being a treble up. Okay, huh.
That sounds cool.
I never used this one, but
Yeah, I
now
like
I'm
that.
kind of thinking about I should
That's
use it.
yeah. That
It's
sounds
weird because
really
you got to
good.
kind of find the spot on the
Yeah, the filter's
those two
interesting.
for each
Get
one
the
of
sweet.
these. Because this one,
Oh yeah, much jazzier.
yeah, I like the. This one's hard. I find this
Nice
one
and warm.
doesn't cut through like the sound of a band
Oh,
very well.
sure.
Too mid-rangey.
Yeah.
If you turn this up
But
a
so I,
little,
I
you
use
hear
the
that.
second one a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is.
There you go. That's a classic drive. It's almost Santana-ish or something too.
Yeah.
That's nice. It's settled. I'm
cool.
getting a rap pedal after this.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah.
Well, I needed something else,
Yeah.
and that's what
Very
I needed.
good.
That's exactly what I needed. Man, this show's
And we
really
didn't
helping
even get
me
him
out
right
a
here
lot.
at
Gotta
Music
tell
Villa,
you.
Blaze. The rat pedal.
Oh no, I'm gonna order it offline.
It's helping you empty your wallet.
Yeah, exactly. Which is very empty at the beginning.
You're gonna buy it on Reverb.
That is really cool.
From
Some
Music
of that.
from Music Villa on Reverb.
Yeah.
Let's while we're on it, let's go through all your board
Yeah.
here.
Actually,
So-
real quick though, your guitar, quick mention because we didn't talk about.
So this
Let's
is-
start where it starts.
Sure.
A Prs Mccarty semi-hollow body with no coil
Birds.
taps or anything. It's got birds on it.
There's birds.
It's a Mccarty PRS that I've had since like 2003. I got it used.
Wow.
I noticed the other day
It's beautiful.
that the finish here is completely worn away
Cool.
from
That's a good sign for
playing
playing.
it so much.
What's the date say on the headstock there?
Good.
Is there a little first number?
The first number is 2.
Huh?
Or 10. I
10.
don't know. What do those numbers mean?
Oh, the 10 means a 10 top.
It means it's a
Oh,
B
this is
stock.
before.
They rejected it.
Because later they'll have like the year, 2015, or they'll have like a number 15, then the serial numbers. This is a little older. I have to get on my game.
I think
Sorry,
it's like
PRS, I
around
should
the
be better at that.
2000s.
It means 3 luthiers
But it
died
is-
making this.
But the number 10 means it's a 10 top, which that is a
Oopsie.
beautiful top.
What is
Yeah,
a
it
10
is.
top?
Just a really high grade.
like
Oh.
10 out of 10
Well, yeah.
Mac Daddy top.
Yeah,
like
like-
you did
like
a
from
dive.
edge-
You did the
from
triple
edge to
That's
legend.
edge.
what sold it for me. I was
Yeah,
like, when I saw
you do a
that
dive,
look,
you get a
and
10.
also,
That's the best.
The back is equally as pretty.
It's gorgeous, yeah.
That's lovely.
Too bad I let it have holes all over it.
No, that's a really
If you
nice
look real
looking piece
close,
of
you see
quilt.
the Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I like
A little religious there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful, Alex. So it's an older McCarty semi-hollow or McCarty hollow body. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Now
you
those are
find-
cowboy chords you were playing there, right?
Cowboy, they're
yeah.
like,
Peter, Paul, and Mary did a lot of that.
Yep.
But the magic dragon, motherfucker, yeah.
You know what we need right now, Blaze? You know what goes well with cowboy chords?
What's that?
Beer.
Usually when we're doing cowboy chords and we get segue into jazz, I need a beer.
So
While we're opening beer,
do like that.
I got.
so we got to talk about your board. But what are some of your influences and stuff? Like you're known as this jazz guy, but obviously you rock out and do different things. Who's a couple of your favorite inspirations for jazz players? Maybe it's guitars, maybe it's another kind of instrument, and then what other genres or what?
Yeah, for jazz,
No, it's a gold nail. You might want the.
Oh yeah, I want the one I put in my mouth. It gave a blow.
when I was very young, I really liked Tal Farlow.
Oh yeah,
Amazing.
But
he's got
as
that.
I got older, I'm not really into
He's really
guitar players in jazz. I like
does a
saxophone
lot of
players
Oh yeah,
and
I feel that.
pianists. I like.
There's
You
more
get more-
air and space.
I really like Monk and Bill Evans and
Yes,
So you get more ideas.
Eric Dolphy.
From those,
and
I like Eric
Yes.
Dolphy too.
I'm learning
Anthony
piano now,
Braxton.
and I love piano jazz guys.
Anthony Braxton is one of my all-time favorite musicians in any genre.
What's he do?
He plays saxophone, but also he is a composer. He's in the process of writing a 36-act opera.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Overachiever.
36 independent, or it's actually I think it's like 36 independent operas. I don't know, I forget.
Wow.
But it's
Do you think it'll sell better than Highway to Hell?
No.
No.
no,
That's
So-
the problem, man.
it won't sell.
But it's gonna be incredible.
But he did win the MacArthur Genius Grant.
Did he really?
Yeah, like
Something I
five
can-
or 10 years ago, I forget.
Do.
That's how he's funding this opera project.
Well, it's good to kind of learn. You always hear, listen to horn players, right? Because they're lying. When you start doing patterns on a guitar,
Yeah.
you get a little stuck in that where, like, when you're hearing horn lines, it's a little more freer and open, and it's probably gives you, it breaks you out of a rut or something on a guitar, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, to me, that's a
So the other
definitely
day,
cool thing.
like a week ago or so, sorry to interrupt. A week ago or so on Instagram, I saw you did a 3-parter. You transcribed this Monk piece. It was off minor, wasn't it? Was it off minor? Yeah, which I love. I freaking love Monk. I've never been diligent enough of a student to sit there and learn. He learned every note of. It was a live performance, and he learned. Jazz players, you learn the head and the chorus, but he learned the freaking
Every
piano,
single-
the freaking piano solo.
Damn.
Well, the
What are you
solo
trying to
starts,
do? What the heck? Don't you need to, like, mow the lawn or something?
I did that yesterday.
Okay, I was going to say, that's a lot of time.
Man, it's funny how much you forget in like 2 weeks. I was playing that nonstop, and then it's just.
There's a lot of shit
But
in there.
learning that,
This
though,
one's cool. Yeah, that line is
just playing that on a guitar, it's so.
the.
I mean, it's weird to play it on a piano. It's even weirder on a guitar.
But that's what's going to make your fingers do different things that you've never done. It's
Big
really
time.
cool.
It's so cool.
Now, does that learning?
Exactly.
That's
The
killer.
piano and guitar, the piano and saxophone stuff. Like I've transcribed like Cannonball Adderley and Coltrane and a lot of Miles Davis because he's just very simple and phrasing wise is really good. But doing that, it definitely forces you to think of things that you wouldn't play on guitar because guitar is very based on shapes and patterns that you learn. So when you have a tendency to rely on those patterns heavily, it kind of limits you melodically. But then when you do the transcriptions, you come up with a lot of new patterns that you wouldn't have thought of. And also just the phrasing and being able to sing the melodies to the solos gives you ideas, kind of.
So on Monk, on Off Minor, just my own personal curiosity, what's he employing there? What's he using the most? That you know what I mean? Like obviously I'm hearing
In his
some
Scale arpeggio.
solos?
yeah, like I'm hearing all those
tones.
tritones and stuff, but is he thinking whole tone? There's some
There's
whole
a lot of
tone
whole tone
action.
scales.
That's
That's
what I
like
thought.
what he was famous for back when he first was getting famous, doing a lot of like
Is that what I'm hearing a lot of? Because
throughout that solo. There's endlessly he's going.
that's
Like
what I was
there's one
think-
spot where he
that's
goes.
what I was detecting as well.
What does he do? He goes.
Okay. Okay. I'm glad my ears
Wow.
Yeah.
is
But it's like a lot of that song
In the
has a
right
lot
place.
of like minor 6 chords.
okay. What about the progression
Yeah.
itself of off minor? Is he?
I,
what do you think that's? What's he?
I didn't really get deeply into the transcribing the actual chords, and most charts for that song are wrong. But it's like
Like, is there what's the key? Is there a key center and then he's playing kind of the?
it's kind
the
of G
two-
minor in general, but the chords are really out there. It was kind of I read in a couple books that of his earlier compositions, it was known as like one of the more difficult ones.
It's a weird ass song.
Yeah, and I didn't really get deeply into the chords. That's like my next project to kind of get deep into the harmony and really transcribe the bass and then actually start playing that song out because it's hard. I've been doing this Monk song.
Nice.
It's a little slow.
Can I give a shout out? Can I give a Monk shout out? One more. What is that? What
That's
is that?
Locomotive.
Okay.
That's tight.
Can I just give my personal thing while we're on Monk?
Yeah.
Well, brings me to tears every time I
Dim
hear
the
it.
lights.
Is
Okay.
his Thelonious Monk's version of "Ruby My Dear" with John Coltrane from that classic record. My hair's
Carnegie Hall?
hairs are standing
No.
up just thinking about that
Yeah.
take.
What,
Listen, like "Ruby My Dear."
Ruby, my
It's a
dear.
ballad.
What album is?
It's
that?
the Monk and Coltrane album. It's I think it's called Thelonious Monk with John Coltrane.
Okay. One of my favorite
But Coltrane-
albums
Coltrane's
is the
solo.
Carnegie Hall that they do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The train
playing that
solo
lately.
on that, like Coltrane's performance really on that is just freaking outstanding.
Yeah.
And Monk did that
Is
tune
that on
again
the
with
album?
maybe Coleman Hawkins or somebody. It's not quite.
The original was with Coleman Hawkins. I think Coleman Hawkins might have been the first person to record it even with Monk or without Monk.
There's also the famous story. Now I'm going on John Coltrane, but where Coltrane, when he was first playing with Monk before he went back to Kansas City to sober up, they're the big band. It's that Monk album where Thelonious Monk's in a wagon on the cover.
yeah.
Coltrane was
Monk's music.
nodding
Yeah.
off in the studio from heroin, and he had the guy behind. He learned this trick from other players. Had a little needle to poke him, to wake him up. And so he was like, the dude in front, and they're all in one room doing the session, and the guy sees Coltrane nodding off, and he pokes him when it's time for his solo with a needle, and
What?
Coltrane gets up and rips this solo, and it's on the record, and you
I
can
think
hear
that's
it.
a myth.
You think that's a myth?
I think in the book I just read, the really great Thelonious
Okay.
Monk, I think it's called The Life of an American Original or something like
Do you
that.
think they made that up because of the way he comes
I
in
think
with
they
that solo?
made it up because you can hear. Well, I think there's
'Cause
there's one spot where you can hear Monk say like Coltrane, but
Because you hear
they
him just
think
kind of
he's
come
yelling
into it
at
like,
him.
"Wah!"
And I think it was just because the take was just unplanned and he was just yelling out who was soloing
Calling the
next.
solos.
Oh, and you think he just like spontaneous? It was
But
like,
that's
oh
a
shit,
really,
I'm
they
up.
mentioned that story and they're like, this is a really famous story that everyone like,
Right,
a lot
legend.
of people
Yeah.
have heard this story and like, they're not entirely sure if it's true or not, but they think that it's probably a little exaggerated.
But Monk,
But-
from all I've read anyway, it seems like Monk was pretty cool to John Coltrane.
Oh, yeah.
and nice to him, and
Well, he taught everyone.
Helped him,
He was,
get his life back together.
the new release that they just made of the Coltrane and Monk together is really the one that I think is... Because what you're talking about, the one from the album, I think, which is also amazing. But then they did, after recording the album, they did like 3 or 6 months straight of playing like every single day, like
Wow.
hours at the 5 spot. And
heard
then
about- yeah.
they had a gig at like this benefit concert that got recorded and recently released. And that is like...
Really, I should go
That's
find
when
that.
Coltrane
I
like,
think I read
really
about
knows
that.
the material.
Oh,
and
I'll-
it
Yeah.
was like,
I don't think I've heard that.
yeah, I think it came out
They're more rehearsed.
within
than-
the last 5 years or so.
Okay.
But it's like no
That's
one
not the
knew
one
that
you're talking
recordings
about.
of it
No,
existed.
different one. I just said like Carnegie Hall. I have a Carnegie Hall there.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great album.
I know that. Okay, I know
With
that.
that,
Right.
with the two of them,
Yeah.
that might be the one.
That
Do
is
you
that.
have it on record?
Because it might
How
be
about-
because I bought it. No, I got it on
How about-
iTunes or whatever. But I remember reading of that.
I think
what
that
you
might be
just
the one.
described, and I
think
wonder
it
if
is a
that's why,
Carnegie.
How about
I read it.
Mingus and Eric Dolphy at Carnegie Hall recording? You ever listen to that record?
I think so.
Anyway,
So
let's
when
get
you're
back to
learn-
Alex.
When you're learning these lines, Now, when you're gonna go play another genre of music, or utilize? Is this coming into your playing gradually,
well,
or
that,
like
for transcriptions?
monthly?
I think the biggest benefit is just the internal phrasing ideas that will just come out. But I have been using this a lot more lately, which is just that he starts like a bunch of various, like I think a lot of the A sections he starts with these variations on like a minor 6 arpeggio starting on the 3rd, so it's like 3 5 6 root 3 5 6, but then sometimes he does like to the major 7.
Ooh,
Landing
major
on
6 and a major 7.
landing on a different thing.
Yeah, so he does like a lot of variations on that, which I've been throwing in. I've also been throwing in a lot of these like whole tone scale, but
Nice.
doing like the arpeggios through the whole tone scale, which
That's
are
great.
all augmented chords. So I've been
Yeah,
using like
that's
some
cool.
of those ideas like pop in, but I think the biggest benefit is just like being able to feel new ideas mentally, and it's kind of a long-term absorption of,
That's what I'm. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
doing all these transcriptions, all
like
this
osmosis
stuff,
is just,
and that's the whole point.
know
Is
how-
osmosis. It should all come out in your own.
it's not like
filter.
you're gonna cop the licks and just
No,
play 'em.
and that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Which
like
sometimes I have done. Like I do play this Coltrane thing I transcribed the Softly as a Morning Sunrise from Live at the Village Vanguard, but he does this like that. He uses like he uses that. I forget the whole thing, but I use that, and it's like you kind of like get like little. It kind of opens your ears to hearing things that might have sounded weird to you before, that sound more natural to you now, so you can kind of use them in a more functional way.
I mean, do you
Yeah,
do you
that's
consciously think when you're playing jazz about I'm playing, you can get stuck in a modal, just like you get stuck in pentatonic, you can get stuck in modal land. And then do you think about like, now I'm going to get outside? Do you consciously go like, these are my outside licks and tricks? Or?
I'm very much think about every chord that's being played. Like I don't really think in a key center. I do sometimes, depending on the song. If it's really like, if it stays in one key, mostly I think in one key. But I think much more like, I'm playing this chord, I'm playing this chord, I'm playing this chord. And I use a lot of like the ideas from George Russell's book, the Lydian chromatic concept, which is much
I'm
more
a
like
baby
every
on,
chord,
but-
kind of like if you have a minor 7th chord, it's like this. And obviously you can drift off from that, but that's like my main focus, is thinking about the chord that's being played and also where it's going. When I start doing weirder stuff, it's like coming around. I know I'm going to end up on back at 1, eventually back at the F chord at the top of the form, so like you can use that area.
Are you thinking
to
about the
play
leading
one.
tone?
Well, if I get weird with it, I'm just thinking like a big 5 chord, which can have a whole lot of tension leading back to a certain place.
And that was my next question, is like, going out on the 5 chord is, it gets used a lot because it sounds really cool and it's a great trick. And
but
that's
you don't
like
even
the key
need there to actually be a 5 chord.
Jam band music is like, get weird on the 5, play the 5 for longer, bam, on the, right? But so that was my next question to you, is like, what has helped you to get out anywhere? You know what I mean? To go through the whole thing and play out stuff that sounds like that still follows it somehow, you know?
The
Does that
key
make
is
sense?
to end up where you want to get.
Sure, okay. Land on the right spot, and you can
and
get
like
away with
what you do in
some shit.
between,
There's
you can come up
devices
with
that
all
do
kinds
that,
of
right?
ideas. Like you can come up like minor, like melodic minor ideas, or like diminished scale ideas, or like whole tone scale.
How do you decide which diminished scale to use in a given situation? You know what I mean? Of the 3, let's say
Well, a lot of the time I do. Well, it's really for like a 5 chord. I would only think of 2. So if I'm going to like C, if I'm going like D minor, C7, F major, I'd be thinking about the diminished scale starting on the half whole starting on C.
half
So
full. Yeah. Okay.
So that would be diminished, or melodic minor scale, the 7th melodic minor starting on, like if you played melodic minor on a D flat, that would be your kind of other.
I mean, so when you play a diminished scale, sorry, I'm asking
right,
all
it's
this
all
because I'm trying to
different
get
ways
better
of
at
getting
diminished.
into that.
Yeah.
same
Are you
ending.
thinking about where's the 3? What's the 1 chord? You know, or I mean, you know what I mean? Are you thinking about where's the 1 chord and how's it going to
There's
off
the one, but
off
it's
your
your
major
major
third?
one or whatever.
Definitely. But sometimes it doesn't really matter. Like, that's the thing. Like, it does matter, and I think about it that way, but, like,
Like, when do you start
say
with
if
a
I
whole...
play this one...
Yeah, when do you start a whole step first diminished scale? When do you employ that? Over the 5 chord,
I
maybe?
don't really
No?
use it. I always just think
Okay.
of it as the half step one because
Me-
I
kinda
just
me
put
too,
it where I put it in a different position.
Sure.
So if I was on the whole step one, yeah.
You almost have to practice it like that, but then when you're performing, you want to just have phrasing and lines and stuff and not think about that either, you know? So, yeah, that's crazy shit.
Yeah,
man.
so I don't
Yeah.
necessarily use a lot of... I mainly think of the diminished scales always starting at the half step.
Yeah, okay.
And just positioning it at different
That's how I
places.
practice.
Yeah.
I just practice those ones.
Yeah, because I always start it... Because it's
Yeah.
like, what's the point
I
of
haven't
practicing
done
the other
shit with the
one? You can
diminished
just think of
scale.
it starting here,
Yeah.
or you can think of it starting here.
Yeah.
But it's cool because it's got a lot of... The other thing I've been doing a lot is messing around with finding different ways between whole tone and diminished scales, because basically the melodic minor scale that a lot of jazz people use for a substitution is a combination of a diminished scale and a whole tone scale. And you can kind of... So if you're playing this diminished, you can kind of just switch to a whole tone, or the other way, you know, you can start on your whole tone and then end up in your diminished.
Killer.
And there's this book, Fundamentals of Guitar by Miles Akazake. Very not well-known guitar player, but he just released an entire album of the complete compositions of Thelonious Monk on solo guitar.
Wow.
Whoa.
Holy
And it's
crap.
like unbelievable. He does like crazy rhythmic contortions with it, and it's really good. But his book is very interesting, and it has a whole little couple pages about this whole tone diminished scale pathways. But he's cool.
Getting freaky.
Wow.
There,
Sweet.
I have some album where a guitar player did a whole monk thing. What the hell's his name? Oh god, I can't remember.
What about like the modern jazz guitar players, kind of current day, say the last 20 years? Who do you like?
Miles Akazake is definitely probably one of my favorite guitar players ever.
You heard it here, kids.
Yeah.
Enough of that Dan Fogelberg. Pick up a Miles.
And then I
Saki.
like I don't know.
Well, there's all these young guys like Julian Lage or Lage.
Yeah,
or
he's
whatever.
really good.
That's
His
amazing.
newest album is really cool.
Gilkerson
And I like,
or whatever his name is.
I'm trying to
All
think
these-
who have I been listening to lately? Oh,
all these,
Mary
like, Norwegian
Halverson.
people coming
Do you
to
know
New York.
Mary Halverson?
I don't actually.
She's like more new music, but definitely like still in like a jazz kind of format. She's like, her composition is really good. And I also really like her guitar playing, but she's really cool. But again, it's like, I'm not so into...
Bill Frisell, you like him?
Oh yeah, Bill Frisell's
He's not last
really
20
good.
years. He's older.
He's one of
but-
my
It's still kind of a
favorites,
newer-
though. He's one of my favorites. Like, I do like a lot of, especially in Montana, people like the, that like country
All his Appalachian
jazz.
stuff
He's a
Yeah.
big country fan.
So it's like,
Ever.
I do
People
like,
a lot of old
Frisell,
timey
yeah.
tunes.
I do this song.
Nice.
Like the Bob Dylan song.
Yeah, that's cool.
And the Montana people appreciate that.
I saw Bill Frisell
Right.
doing amazing.
They appreciate everything.
Yeah.
Bozeman's great.
I saw him doing
What made you-
amazing Hank
But
Williams.
that always
cover
gets a good
once.
reaction.
What made you come out to Bozeman, by the way?
My wife got a job doing pottery at Mountain Arts Pottery.
My wife worked there too.
Oh, yeah?
Long time ago.
In
yeah.
the pottery studio?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Long time ago. She
You
did
know-
pottery and then
Oh, yeah, you know
we
Jenny.
had kids and stuff.
You
Yep.
know Jenny
Jenny
Blair.
Blair.
When,
Yep.
when I first met you, we discussed this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which has been a while now. But yeah.
So we moved out here for that, and I kind of assumed we visited, and I was like, I'm used to being like a 15-minute drive from New York. So moving here was like different, but I really like snowboarding and hiking and outdoor stuff. So I was like, we'll try this out. And we visited, and I thought the visit was just going to be like a little weekend vacation, and we were going to be like, yeah, that's not happening.
Right.
So we
It's in the
visited, but then
sticks.
I was like, oh, there's a lot of stuff happening here. It's pretty cool. So I figured we'd move here for like a year. She'd do this pottery job, and then we'd move back to New York. And then we were here. And we bought a house like a year and a half ago. So we're gonna be here for a while.
In your teaching,
Right.
let's
Yeah.
touch on that
Start
real
falling
quick.
in love with it and stuff.
Will you tell everybody
Yeah.
your website, your
My
Instagram?
website is www.alexrobilotta.com. AlexRobilotta. And my Instagram is robilotta.music.
Sweet.
And I'm doing right now on Instagram, I'm just finishing up an entire year of Bach chorales.
Oh, I saw
played
one
on
of those.
guitar.
Beautiful. On Mother's Day, you did one.
It's going to be 56 of them total, and I'm trying to come up with a book as well.
Holy
that
crap.
has all 56. I
fuck?
do some of them.
You make me feel like I'm not doing shit with my life.
How are you?
I like colored
how are you
outside the
building-
lines earlier in the book.
Building
That's what I
those as
did.
guitar pieces,
Well,
because
it
I saw you
started-
doing like four pieces.
Well, yeah, it
four parts
started.
usually.
Damn.
It started doing like alto and tenor, or alto. I'm
I
sorry,
give up.
soprano
One
and
more
alto
guitar.
in one guitar, and then tenor and bass in another guitar, and I did about like 8 that way.
Wait, could you do that chord again? What were we just doing? Right there. Now point that at Joe. Thanks. Thanks. That's all I wanted.
That's my favorite chord. Oh yeah, the Bach thing.
Yes, the
So I
yeah,
did.
yeah.
I did like an entire year, and all the chorales coincide to the actual day in the church calendar that Bach intended them to be performed. So it's like a full year cycle.
Oh wow.
But and like a lot of on Instagram, I'm always posting them with like these very like 17th century religious names, and I think everyone on Instagram thinks I'm like really religious, but
Because you are.
I'm not really. But
You're like an old school.
I have
Catholic,
nothing
like
against
a-
religion
Yeah.
at all, but
You should put the
I'm
collar
not.
on. and
I'm just
everything.
not into it. I'm just not. It's not my thing. But I do appreciate Bach and his whole thing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that's pretty cool. That is really neat.
Hopefully,
I mean, he was. I don't know. I don't want to sound like an idiot with. I don't know shit about classical music really, but Bach was coming out of. He was entering into. Can you help me out here, Alex? He was coming out of an era, entering in. He was sort of the guy that,
Wasted on heroin.
he was the guy that bridged the gap. He was, or that
he
not bridged the
did
gap,
kind
but
of.
he
definitely
took it
kind
to
of took the
the next
Baroque era to the
out
round
of,
of
next
music.
out of Baroque and into.
You might be thinking
What,
of
romantic
Beethoven
or something?
Sure, Bach, because maybe I am.
because Beethoven really bridged the classical.
So was
and
Bach the
romantic.
end of the Baroque era? Was Bach
He's kind of like
right in the center of it?
solid Baroque.
I'm asking because I don't know.
He's like dead
Full on
center
Baroque, bro.
Okay.
But he's like
Romantic.
Um,
Screw you, romantic. Baroque forever. Yeah,
it's true. I agree.
a Baroque bro.
I'm all
I
about
got a
it.
Baroque bro album coming out. It's a shotgun and a it's
Baroque
just-
country.
Yeah, Baroque country. Baroque country. America! Baroque. All right.
Let's get back to this.
Okay, so
Most
let's
musicians play Baroque music because they are Baroque.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, stickers here. More of these. Okay.
Yeah. Now that we've established that the most
Yes.
important gear is what you actually play.
Yeah.
Now we can talk about all
Yeah,
the
we
fun
that was
things.
a long. Yeah, we
Yes.
haven't. We got to get back to this. What kind of really quick? What kind of amp do you do?
I have a couple amps. I have the one I prefer for like bigger places is the Fender Twin Reverb, just the big one.
Got the.
I also have a Princeton with a bigger 12-inch speaker that I bought here.
That thing
that
sounds great.
I love. It's like the big 12-inch
How's that blue-
Alnico
Alnico
speaker.
blue, yeah.
Yeah, and it's
That's a good
like
amp.
I love that amp. And it's reasonably weighted.
You
as
sit on a
well.
chair or something.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
fine for the jazz.
I've
gig.
been thinking about recently. I've been debating. I might get a Henriksen with a closed back, and
Nice.
I've been thinking about that. I've been checking that idea out.
Don't
But I've
you-
always played like Fender amps my entire life.
Yeah, don't you have a
so-
silver face of some kind? An old silver face?
I
Fender?
used to. I sold that here. I sold
you
that
got
to
rid
you
of that.
guys.
Is it Vibrolux?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. We were talking about that earlier. It's got that one giant speaker. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, it was something odd, wasn't it?
It has like
it had a 15.
huge, like a huge.
It was like a
15
pedal. It's like a
speaker.
pedal steel.
Yeah,
type
and
of-
it's really popular with pedal steel players. That's what I heard. But I liked it because it had like a very
What the
fat
hell
sound.
was that?
I
Wasn't
don't know,
it
man,
a
it was 70s. It
Was
might
it
have
a-
been. I thought it was called Vibrolux.
I did too.
But I thought
Two
they-
speakers.
Yeah,
I know Vibrolux is 210s, but maybe it was a funky 70. I'll have to look that up.
thought
It
it
was a
was something.
70s thing.
I forget what
Some
it was.
funky thing.
So that amp is great, and yeah, I just love Fender's reverb. This real spring reverb they make is. I like
Nice.
making that sound.
Yeah.
Doing this.
So on your so
What's
let's
going
just
on
very
here?
quickly.
So let's talk about this
tell us
stuff.
about this
We
one.
gotta
This envelope
kind
filter.
of get moving a little bit.
So this MXR I bought.
Nice.
That's a good sounding envelope.
That is
Yeah.
good.
So this is an old like a 70s or 80s. This is an old MXR pedal, people,
What
and it's like
Yeah, how's it go?
it's like the color of our coffee.
No, that's not
Nice.
it. That's it.
My time coming any day.
That's like my Jerry Garcia envelope
Oh
filter.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
that's
good
very
sound.
But it's also
Jerry.
good for anything.
Yeah.
Like I like either here or here. Like those are mainly my only.
Oh yeah, man.
That sounds good.
That's a really good sound
Yeah.
envelope.
Nice
Yeah,
round sound.
and this was actually I bought it from some guy. It's signed on the back, and I was told that it was on tour on the Wall tour in like the '80s with Pink Floyd with one of their
The Surrogate
alternate
band.
guitar players.
Whoa.
That's cool.
And I installed my little because it's the old one, so it didn't have a power input, so I had to like get one of those things and run a little cable and do the whole thing. But that's fun.
legendary.
Great
Yeah.
sounding pedal.
Yeah.
Sounds, I like it better than the envelope filter on my board.
Yeah, that's got a nice warm round
Warm.
sound. Yeah.
Mine does not sound that as good as that.
That's all you need. Why would you, unless you hear something blowing your mind, but you're not like,
That's
I'm on the
killer.
run for that
Yeah.
pedal anymore.
I found mine kind of boosts things in a way I don't like. Makes shit louder.
Not
That
cool.
one's-
You need to get one of those.
See that one.
Bro.
Bro, dude.
All the
hello.
bro country.
Or just
use
go
those.
for like, drop $1,000 on a vintage Mutron.
Mutron, yeah.
I had a great copy Mutron that was like that big. And I
This
got
is
rid of
just
it. and
the
I wish I didn't.
classic,
So what order are you
Tube
running here
screamer.
too? Can we just signal chain real fast?
Okay,
Input
so-
is where?
Input is that guy.
Into the tube screamer.
Tube Screamer. Actually, input, if I'm using this ring modulator, I'll go that first.
Sure.
But I
Sounds
don't
better
always
first.
use it, so that's first. Tube Screamer, envelope filter,
Phaser.
phaser, then to like the overdrive rat pedal,
Uh-huh.
then to, I think then...
Probably then or reverb and delay. Right?
Oh wait, no, hold on.
No?
I did it backwards. Hold on, yeah. Interesting. I think this might be a little... So, Tube Screamer, that guy, then the rat, then the phaser, which sometimes I switch those,
Okay.
depending on...
Yeah, phaser's a wild card. Yep.
Then to the delay, then to the reverb.
Okay.
I
And
just
what-
got this reverb.
I
It's
was
kind
gonna
of
say
like...
that's upside down, yo.
And then where?
It's because it had to fit with this cable.
Oh,
Oh, and your master
have
gotta
a
outs.
be
longer
resourceful.
Your master outs coming out of the
Yeah, well, yeah, and then volume pedal.
Volume pedal last.
Yeah, volume pedal last. I do sometimes do the volume pedal before the delay, so you can get like fading in volume that like echoes then.
Mhm.
But it's kind of like I don't know. I kind of
I have
redo
this-
my pedal board like every time I play a gig that requires a pedal board.
Gotcha. Yeah, I redo them a lot.
But the one thing about this
like this
pedal, it
carbon
doesn't have an
copy, too.
on-off switch. So a lot of time
Oh.
I'm soloing and then I get back to the song and we're playing.
It's wop,
and
wop.
after playing like 3 songs, I realize it's still on because I'm like
Yeah.
dumb or something. I don't know.
you're in the You're just
Yeah.
you're in the zone.
Carbon copy
Yeah.
delay is so
Oh, yeah.
usable, man.
This is
Let's
my
go back to that.
favorite thing, and I love how small it is.
Mhm.
And I love how you know it's good because it weighs like 50 pounds.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah.
It's like
And
a
the-
brick.
And the Holy Grail is just a good standard, right? Just a good whatever standby.
Yeah. This thing is it's good.
Let's,
I've been having some weird reverb things happening, so I've been having that as a backup, but that'll be fixed
Let's
soon.
let's
and
do
mainly you're doing a jazz gig.
Mainly
You're doing a
jazz.
thing at the pizza place.
Yeah, I do the Friday night jazz at Pizza, and
And you
then
have guests and
on-
stuff?
Red Tractor Pizza, everybody.
every
Awesome.
Friday I
Adam,
book
good
it.
dude.
Yeah, I play there. I'd say I try to do half the time. This summer I'm going to be out of town for a decent amount of time, and I've already booked a lot of them. So this Friday will be my last jazz night until like the second week of July, which is
wow.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I booked a lot of them in advance, and then it just turned out that the ones I hadn't booked, I ended up not being able to do. But I'm also playing Red Tractor Saturday night with this sax player John Swenside and Eddie T and Alex Platt.
Nice.
And that's going to be
Nice.
more of like this fusion-y thing, playing these compositions that John Swenside got charts for from this guy he studied with, Bob Reynolds, who's pretty cool. It's like kind of like funky groove jazz kind of stuff. It's
Electric.
It's very good for this. This pedal board was specifically chosen for those gigs.
Right. You're
Cool,
gonna
man.
you're gonna get after.
But they're fun. We get
And
pretty like jammy with it. It's like
cool.
And last time I saw you there, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was done.
Last time I saw you at Plonk, actually, was a great band. That should be a band with Adam Greenberg, Rob Kohler, and Ann.
Oh
Tavin.
yeah.
That was just like a.
Yeah,
Those
cool.
those
Great
people
piano.
they know they are real jazz musicians.
Yeah. I like playing with Adam
They can freaking play.
and
Adam's amazing.
and Rob,
Yeah.
obviously.
And Rob too.
And
Rob,
Dan.
yeah.
Everyone in that band is great.
It was good, man. You guys had a good sound.
Cool.
Let's do a weird jam to take them out.
Yeah, let's take
we
it
got
out.
some,
We're gonna get
we do
going.
some ring
We're
modulator
done.
and noise machine.
What am I gonna do? I'm gonna do some kind of clapping. Oh, wait, I'll get one. Okay.
You take the green one.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Gear and Beer, Music Villa, Bozeman, Montana. Alex Robilotta.
We're going to take you out with a freak out.